that is the catalyst of why me and my sisters have not been able to get along.
It is now official. Towanda Braxton's financial troubles have escalated far beyond rumors, overdue bills, or family disagreements. Her 2019 bankruptcy filing has drawn the attention of federal authorities, and investigators are now treating parts of her case as possible bankruptcy fraud. The situation is layered, complex, and deeply tied to the Braxton family's personal history, public conflicts, and long-standing financial tension. The catalyst for this federal review was a single detail in Towanda's Chapter 7 filing. In those documents, she listed her own sister, Tamar Braxton, as a creditor for $35,000. Towanda has always insisted that this money from Tamar was a gift. Tamar has always maintained that it was a loan. In a regular family situation, disagreements about money happen. But in a bankruptcy case, the distinction between a gift and a loan is not emotional or personal. It is legal. Misrepresenting a debt, even by accident, can qualify as a false statement under federal bankruptcy law. This is not a warning or a technicality. It is a federal offense. The scrutiny did not stop with the loan discrepancy. Investigators discovered that Towanda transferred ownership of her Georgia home into her husband's name shortly after the bankruptcy filing. In everyday life, transferring property between spouses is not unusual. But when done while bankruptcy proceedings are active, it can appear to be an attempt to conceal assets from the court. Concealing property during bankruptcy is one of the most common factors that triggers a fraud review. The question at the center of this situation is simple. Was the property transfer a normal personal decision or an intentional move to keep the home from being counted as part of Towanda's assets? This is where an old moment from Braxton Family Values resurfaced with new meaning. In one episode, Tamar told Towanda, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment." At the time, viewers saw the scene as typical Braxton sister banter, sharp, emotional, but ultimately part of their dynamic. But in the context of federal financial review, that line now reads as a statement of financial contribution toward the home. If proven, that would mean the home was at least partially funded by Tamar, which would make its transfer into Towanda's husband's name extremely significant. The investigation widened when federal agents subpoenaed records connected to the home and associated credit accounts. What surfaced were recurring phone service charges allegedly tied to accounts under Tamar's name. Online discussions have frequently referenced Towanda using phone lines connected to Tamar for years. At the time, it was framed as another example of sibling boundary issues. But to investigators, those charges could indicate that Towanda had access to resources and financial support that were not disclosed in her bankruptcy filings. Complicating the situation further is Towanda's legal history. In 2005, she was arrested in Atlanta on charges of forgery and theft by receiving. The case eventually disappeared from public conversation, and the family moved forward. But legal records and past charges do not vanish from federal review processes. When the government examines financial behavior, patterns of similar past incidents are considered relevant. This led to the question dominating social media. Did Tamar report Towanda? Many fans believed Tamar may have turned in her sister out of anger. Others believed she may have acted to protect her own name. But sources close to the situation claim the reality is different. Tamar did not initiate the investigation. The investigation reached Tamar. When she was asked for financial documentation, she complied. It was not an act of revenge. It was an act of self-preservation. When your name appears on financial records connected to a bankruptcy case under review, you do not have the option to withhold documentation. This distinction has not stopped the internet from debating intent. To some, cooperating with the investigation still feels like betrayal. To others, Tamar simply refused to cover for her sister any longer. The tension and emotional weight behind that choice is rooted in long-standing family history. An old allegation resurfaced from a former family assistant claiming that Towanda had once taken their mother Evelyn Braxton's Social Security check. While the family never directly confirmed or denied the claim, its presence in conversation now has shifted how fans interpret the current situation. When repeated financial disputes, allegations, and legal challenges accumulate over years, accusations become harder to dismiss as isolated mistakes. Toni Braxton's recent behavior has intensified speculation. Toni has quietly distanced herself from joint business ventures and public associations involving Towanda. She also did not attend Towanda's bridal shower, which caused confusion when it happened. At the time, fans assumed it was typical sister tension. Now, many believe Toni was advised to protect her financial independence from any potential legal fallout. Tamar Braxton, who is usually openly affectionate online, has remained completely silent about the situation. No statements, no posts, no subtle hints. And in a family where silence is rare, silence is no longer neutral. It is strategic. Towanda's financial filings raise additional questions. Along with declaring $500,000 in liabilities, she reported ownership of a $50,000 Tesla that appeared on television during the period she claimed financial hardship. Investigators have also traced business revenue from Towanda's skincare brand to a consultancy firm under her husband's name. Routing business income through a spouse or partner is not illegal by itself. But if it was done during bankruptcy proceedings, and if those funds were not reported as part of Towanda's income, it could support a claim of attempting to conceal assets. If the allegations are proven, Towanda could face up to 5 years in federal prison, financial restitution, and long-term monitoring of her personal and business accounts. But the legal consequences may not be the most damaging part of this situation. What is at stake is the legacy of one of the most recognizable sister groups in R&B history. The Braxtons built their public identity on unity, shared talent, and emotional connection. Their brand was not just based on music. It was based on a narrative of sisterhood. And now, the same reality show that made that sisterhood famous is being watched again as potential evidence of deception, resentment, and unresolved betrayal. Every argument that once seemed performative now reads differently. Every on-screen accusation sounds pointed. Every emotional confrontation is being reevaluated with the knowledge that some statements may not have been exaggerated for television. They may have been literal. The most concerning part of all is that the investigation is not finished. There are still multiple financial accounts linked to family members that are reportedly under federal review. If any additional funds involving Toni, Tamar, or other family members are found to be connected to Towanda's filings, even unintentionally, then more members of the family could be questioned, drawn into legal proceedings, or required to prove that their financial involvement was separate and uninvolved. There is no certainty about what comes next. Towanda has denied wrongdoing. Tamar has said nothing publicly beyond silence. Toni has focused on her own health and career, and the remaining sisters have withdrawn from public commentary entirely. The Braxtons were once celebrated as a model of vocal harmony, emotional closeness, and sisterhood. Now they stand at a crossroads where loyalty, law, history, and survival are colliding. The outcome of this case may reshape not only their relationships, but how the public remembers their legacy. This story is still unfolding. More records may surface. More statements may be made. And depending on what investigators find in those remaining linked accounts, this may only be the beginning of a much deeper unraveling. The truth is still moving, and the Braxton family may never look the same again. Thanks for watching NC News TV. We'll be following these stories closely and bringing you updates as they develop, so you'll always know what's really going on behind the headlines. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest in celebrity news, trending gossip, and behind-the-scenes rumors. Your support helps us continue to bring you the stories everyone is talking about. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one on NC News TV.